Hello everyone and welcome back to the Colorado Rockies franchise. In the last episode, the Rockies continued to stay red hot, but unfortunately lost Ezequiel Tovar to a pretty significant injury, fracturing his wrist, which now says will only take 1 to 2 months to heal. We're getting closer and closer to the midway point of the season, and I think I'm ready to start simulating a little bit more and getting through more chunks of the season at a time. We've clearly established that this Rockies team is quite good, and I want to see if they will continue to sim that way without me playing as much. I did simulate this first game against Texas, which we were able to win 6-4 behind a pretty good start by Mike Soroka, which went 6 1/3. Nolan Jones continuing to play well in the absence of Ezequiel Tovar. Jordan Beck also able to get 3 hits, including a home run, bringing his average up to a flat 200. I've made some changes to my philosophy on prospects. So previously I had a lot of these super young guys like Jose Rosales and Edmund Ortiz, who are low 60s in overall, down at single A. But if you don't know, when you're down at single A, you get pretty small upgrades like these ones for Ortiz. You don't get bigger upgrades. So while you'll see players improve, it's very much at a decreased rate, but it is guaranteed improvement. Whereas when a guy is playing well at a higher level, like Ezequiel Tovar, you'll see these huge, significant improvements. And the reason I bring that up is because I think it might be better to have these guys be at double A and see faster improvements rather than sitting down at single A and seeing smaller improvements, especially for these kind of older prospects like Edmund Ortiz, who's already 21. So I've made some changes to the roster to hopefully make prospects improve at a more rapid pace. That also includes moving John Chirac up to AAA. He had been playing incredibly well at AA, and I figured it was time, as well as Jose Zavala, who was also playing very well at AA. Both of these guys have reached 66 overall, and I think around 65 is a good threshold for entering AAA. That includes guys like Aiden Bryant, who has been playing very well since getting called up to AA, batting a 349 with a 1000 OPS. It also includes guys like number 2 prospect Alex Hoskins, who has also been playing very well since coming up to AA and has seen significant improvements because of it. So basically what I did is a lot of these guys who were kind of just bodies like Jacob Burke filling the roster, I sent them down to single A, and I brought guys like Carlos Pinto, Javier Soto, and these lower rated young guys up to AA. Javier Soto in particular, I think, will benefit a lot from being at AA rather than single A because he has a true 99 potential and he's already 22. So we need to see rapid improvements from Soto if he's ever going to make the team. Also, can I just point out how goofy this dude looks? Like, he's got a weird body type for only being 5'7". So let's sim through this series against Texas, and then I want to play some minor league games with some of these guys that we've called up. The Rockies are up 15-2 in the 9th. Rosario's a triple away from the cycle. We'll let that play out. 15-3 is the final. Ahmed Rosario with 5 RBIs. Barry Cohen with 4 off of only 1 hit. Looks like he must have hit a grand slam at some point. He also had a stolen base. Satchel Paige, 7 1/3, continues to just simulate like an absolute machine. Jordan Beck, 3 more hits, now up to a 233. Excellent work. Game number 3 against Texas is also a win, 8-3, and finally a win for the simulating Chase Dolander. 7 innings pitched, 43-22, and we're still 5 games back of the Dodgers. So we're with the Yard Goats down here at AA today, highlighting a player by the name of Alex Hoskins, who I think is one of the future middle infielders of this team. A shortstop that I think was an absolute steal in last year's draft that is already a relatively balanced player. He's been playing very well in his time at AA. The Yard Goats find themselves down 0-3 in the bottom of the 2nd. Let's take a look at Hoskins' attributes. Like I said, very balanced. They're all relatively low, which is to be expected. He is only a 60 overall, but I love the fact that he's not a horrific fielder like a lot of our other prospects. Like 56 isn't great, don't get me wrong, but the dude is 60 overall and he's only 18. That's clearly going to get a lot better. He'll probably be around the 70s by the time he's ready to come up to the majors. I'm really excited about Alex Hoskins, and I think with like him, Amador, and Tovar, plus Cohen at first, our infield of the future is looking nasty. I think in all honesty, he will probably play second. It'll really depend. He does have a pretty good arm. It just really depends on how high he can get his fielding ability, because shortstop is the most important infield position in terms of defense. So we need our best fielder there. Could potentially move him to third base as well with the stronger arm. Either way, I know that he will be an infielder of the future on this team. I'm very, very confident about that. He's actually the #2 prospect in all of baseball, which is actually good for the #2 prospect in the Rockies farm system. We have the #1 and the #2 prospects. This is hit pretty well from Hoskins, but it will not get down. It will advance the runner, though. I did give him the stereotypical shortstop number, the #2, just like Derek Jeter, as he gets a base hit right back up the middle here. He's not slow either. I don't know if I mentioned that. He's got... Wait, this is Javier Soto. I don't know why I'm looking at Javier Soto. Hoskins has 62 speed, so, like, he's not the slowest guy. He really isn't. He's not fast. 62 isn't anything special, but he's not slow. Let's see what he's got in the field. Like I said, he's not a bad fielder, all things considered. It's why I feel comfortable letting him play short at AA currently. And he's got a pretty strong arm. I believe it's like 81 arm strength right now already. Of the guys I've drafted, he is probably my favorite prospect that isn't named Barry Cohen, but Barry Cohen was never really a prospect. He was just immediately a superstar on the team. He's got a super high ceiling for sure. Is definitely going to be a contributor. Probably needs 2 more seasons before he's really super close to ready, though, as he is only 18, so he's got time. We can wait on him a little bit. Now we're in the bottom of the 9th. There's a chance to tie the game up here with an Alex Hoskins homer. Not with swings like that, though. Well, not going to happen. And we lose the Alex Hoskins player lock game. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think of Alex. He's definitely one of my favorite prospects. I think he has one of the highest ceilings of anybody on the team. In this game, we're going to be doing a player lock with a different guy, an outfielder this time, Carlos Pinto. Look at these jerseys, by the way. These Hartford, like, City Connects, I guess is what these are. These are sick. Here's Carlos Pinto, if you're not familiar with his numbers. Very fast outfielder with not great fielding ability and not a great arm, and pretty balanced all the way around with the bat, though a little bit better against lefties. I don't know why, I just like Carlos Pinto a lot. He's already 22 though, has a long ways to go. He probably won't be able to make an MLB debut until he's closer to like 25 or 26. But I don't know, he gives me like Carlos Gonzalez vibes a little bit. Those of you that are big time fans of the Rockies obviously know that Cargo is like an all-time Rocky great, one of my favorite players when I was a kid. And, you know, their names are Carlos, I guess. Maybe that's what's giving me that. But I don't know, something about Carlos Pinto I'm just a fan of. I like him. It's a big part of why I gave him the #5 down here at AA, is because he kind of reminds me of Carlos Gonzalez. Swing and a miss on a 2-seamer, though. Swung right through a meatball. I feel like we also got to find some nicknames for some of these prospects. Especially this guy that's on deck, Alex Hoskins, because he's going to be around for a long, long time. You know, Carlos Gonzalez's nickname was Cargo. Should Carlos Pinto's nickname be Carpy? It doesn't really have the same ring to it, does it? As this is way high into right field, out. Swing and a miss on a slider. I can't do anything with Carlos Pinto. Maybe he sucks. It's definitely not a me problem. 0 for 3 for Carlos Pinto. Bases are loaded. And we're down 4-1. I mean, this could be huge. No way. Popped a mile into the air. It could score the runner from third. Is he taking off? He is. I think, actually, I'm not certain who that is, but they're safe at the plate. Is that Dallas Rutledge? Clay Garral is clutching the elbow. I think that was the pitcher on that last play. Well, we end up losing 6-5. So we actually did take the lead and then just lost it again. Or maybe we couldn't catch up. I'm not entirely certain. But an offer for Carlos Pinto. I feel like I didn't do him very much justice, but let me know how you guys feel about him. By the way, in those 2 games, the Rockies did beat San Diego twice, so we just can't stop winning. Now we're only 4.5 back of the Dodgers. Here is the #1 prospect in all of baseball, Elliot LeBlanc, a guy that we did not draft a year ago. In fact, the Diamondbacks did, but I guess they failed to sign him. He entered free agency in the offseason. I scooped him right up, and now he's mine forever. And he is the top prospect in all of baseball. And one of the few lefties we've had in this entire series, as immediately he gives up a base hit on the first pitch he throws. Here are Elliott's attributes. Not a good K per 9 or hit per 9 guy. Does not walk very often though. Pitching clutch definitely needs work. Control needs work. I mean, he's a work in progress for sure, but he's a relatively balanced player. And he has the really high stamina, which you like to see. Weirdly, by the way, has a strange amount of power in his bat. 41 power against righties, 31 power against lefties. I mean, that's better power than some actual hitters on the team. That one is driven fairly deep to left, even though that pitch was way inside. That's out number 1. Look at the bottom left. Look at where that pitch was. He was just early on the release, and that ended up kind of going a mile. That's well struck to left, and that's going to stay fair. I believe that's Sean Bouchard playing out there in left. This is almost definitely going to score a run. Runner on his way to the plate. And the throw from Hoskins was not in time. So immediately, not a good showing on the channel from LeBlanc, giving up a run easily. This one flies to right, and Soto gets that back in quickly. So far, he's missing locations badly. This is my first time pitching with him. And that's a grounder onto second. It eats up Dallas Rutledge, and everybody is safe. So it'll be runners on the corners with only 2 out, ruled an E4. That's what I get for drafting guys that can't field. Although truth be told, Rutledge is not that bad of a fielder, all things considered. I know 51 is not anything special, but it's not bad. By the way, you may have noticed Elliot LeBlanc's 5th pitch is a knuckleball. Have you ever seen that before? He just naturally had a knuckleball. Look at that thing. That's disgusting. And it was his 5th pitch. It wasn't like he's not a knuckleballer. He just throws a knuckleball for no reason. As that pitch gets away. Do we convert him to be a knuckleballer maybe? Make that his best pitch? How are they getting on these inside pitches so well? Knuckleball gets to Grant Levine playing first, and that is out number 3. No run support from the Yard Goats, so LeBlanc still just down by 1. Bad curveball, but called a strike. It'll be kind of cool to have like LeBlanc and the man behind the plate, Aiden Bryant, sort of coming up together. These are... Is that gone? That's got to be gone, right? Yeah. Okay. I was going to say these are our top prospects at pitcher and catcher, but I don't know. I'm not liking LeBlanc anymore. I know it's just one showing. I'm just joking around, but clearly this cutter that Aiden Bryant keeps asking for is getting crushed. The knuckleball strikes him out. Maybe he is a knuckleballer. Maybe that's his pitch. All right, it's an 0-2 count. I'm going back to it. Let's see. Maybe it's just his strikeout pitch, man. Oh my God, that's not close. Timing on the pitch release was good and everything. Just missed. That is well struck right at Alex Hoskins, though. And that is out number 2. The knuckleball on its way. Strikeout pitch, not close. Okay. That one is straight at Grant Levine at first. He does knock it down, gets it over to LeBlanc, and the play is made. That was very close. Good on Levine to knock that down. I feel like he should have just caught it, though. And yeah, a half a step ahead for LeBlanc. Knuckleball on its way on the 2-2. Oh, it falls in there. Oh, man, we're making this guy a knuckleballer for sure. The knuckleball strikes again. Oh my God, this guy's a menace with this thing. We're officially in the 4th inning and still no runs scored for the Yard Goats, unfortunately. LeBlanc had those bad couple of first 2 innings and has kind of settled in since. The knuckleball appears to genuinely be his best pitch. Oh my God, that one should have been crushed. That was 102 foul. Somehow this changeup is popped and is going to fall in front of the right fielder Javier Soto. How does he get a piece of that? That was so far outside. Look at where that was in the bottom left. It was so far away, and he still bloops that in for a single. That's insane. This is grounded onto third, is definitely playable, and that is a double play. And now we're in the 5th, still no runs to help out Elliott, who is honestly having himself a pretty good outing. On the full count, we're doing it. We're going to the knuckleball. Oh, popped up. Levine is underneath it. Oh, wait, it wants me to get it? Okay, game. Levine came running over. I thought he wanted it, but then suddenly it's me. Okay, the knuckleball it's genuinely his best pitch. But maybe it's one of those ones where it's, you know, it's working when it's working. So we don't want to get like overly confident in it. I've thrown it very occasionally so far. Mostly to try to get strikeouts. We're doing it again. Knuckleball on its way. Boom. Oh, right back up the middle. Oh, well played by the infield though. Double play. Rutledge, Hoskins, Levine. Golly, still no runs from this Yard Goats lineup. Looks like LeBlanc might get through 6 full innings of work though, potentially. As that struck pretty well, but not having to move very far is Bouchard, out number 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You already know. Knuckleball. See ya later, buddy. We've thrown 12 knuckleballs thus far. They're 0 for 7 on them with 4 strikeouts and a double play. I mean, this pitch is, it's nasty. 0-2 pitch on its way. It's a knuckleball. You already know. Oh my God, it's another strikeout on a knuckleball. He's a knuckleballer. That pitch is filthy. Oh, Rizzo hits a 2 RBI homer, so now we're all knotted up at 2. So some run support from LeBlanc. Could be on for a no decision here. They're letting him go into the 7th. I don't have any control over him getting pulled. But here he is in the 7th inning and getting his first out and also getting in the way of Freeman. No way. Elliott. He apparently dislocated his shoulder and will be headed for the IL. Fantastic. Yard Goats end up winning 3-2 after Elliott leaves. I believe he'll get credit with a no decision for that, and it will be a victory to probably Yoendris Gomez. Yeah, Yoendris Gomez ends up with the win. He came in after Elliott. LeBlanc exited. I wonder how long our main man will be out of action for. So here's how LeBlanc's day went. People were 0 for 4 against the fastball, 0 for 2 against the curveball, 0 for 8 against the knuckleball. It genuinely seems like it might be his best pitch. All 5 of his strikeouts came on the knuckleball. His only walk given up was on a strike, and he seems to have pretty good control of that knuckleball as well. Only 2 of them were out of the strike zone. LeBlanc has sustained an injury, shoulder separation, 1 to 2 months. Of course, we can't have nice things at all, ever. 15-day for Elliott. What does that mean in terms of our pitching rotation? Well, we don't really have any other young guys to bring up, but Manny Nunez is plenty good. He can just take over. That's unfortunate though, isn't it? In the meantime, the Rockies have continued their winning ways. 15-4 against the Padres here. Barry Cohen is starting to pop off. He's up to batting a 310 again. Alex Verdugo is up over a 300, back up to a 260. Sterling Thompson had himself a pretty good day. Barry Cohen hit 2 home runs this day with 5 RBIs. What an absolute animal. Here's Barry's stats so far in the season. He now officially leads the team in home runs, thanks to Tovar being out. He's also now tied for the lead in RBIs. Verdugo has 47 though. He leads the team in average if you're not Ezekiel Tovar. He leads the team in on-base percentage. He is 2nd in slugging percentage and 2nd in OPS. And Barry Cohen is a superstar, truly. I mean, look at this guy. He leads the team in WAR at 2.6. Tovar, Rosario, and Verdugo all over 2. Nolan Jones with a 1.5, Arise with a 1.3, and Doyle with a 1.2, although he is cold with the bat right now, it seems. But he's still batting a 241. I will take it. Verdugo also 3rd on the team in home runs with 11, and he is not a power guy. I don't know where this is coming from with Verdugo, but it is making me want to keep him around and maybe not trade him away. So here is the 100% completed scouting report on Steve Dolan. 74 to 89 potential, 51 to 66 overall, a switch hitting outfielder. MLB draft rank is 13. His Colorado draft rank is 30. I actually think that he is a relatively safe pick. We don't need outfielders. I've mentioned this a million times, but we can always trade people away. If we want to trade Dolan away, we can. If we want to keep Dolan, we can. He just looks like a really well-rounded player, and he's got high vision and discipline, which is something that we definitely lack on this team. We don't have a lot of high discipline, high vision guys. So I think of all of the sort of first round guys I've looked at, Dolan is probably my favorite to actually take with our 12th overall pick. Here is Claudio Pineda, a left-handed pitcher that I like the more we scout him. Very, very balanced the whole way down the board. He's a lefty with 76 to 88 potential, 62 to 74 overall. A pretty for sure thing. Like, you're going to get a quality player out of him. Even if that potential is 76, that's still fine. Like, he's going to be a pretty good pitcher. Plus, his draft rank is 46, so we could probably get him with, like, I think we have the 31st and the 38th overall picks. Let's go ahead and keep simulating. Here's another game against the Padres. Padres that it looks like the Rockies might win. Actually, they end up losing 4-5. Blowing the game in the 9th was Jose Quijada, and his numbers have climbed a lot since we pushed him into the closer role after the Helsley injury. So maybe we need to reevaluate that, although we're winning a bunch, so why would we? Also, another quality start from Satchel Paige. What do we do with this guy? Paige is up to a 76 overall, although I believe that is his potential straight up, and he's actually regressing some, so maybe it's actually slightly lower. 3.29 ERA, 1.20 whip, 0.8 WAR, 4.45 FIP is nothing great though. He does have a 7 K per 9, which is very good considering his K per 9 is a 50. His home run per 9 is a little high, walk per 9 a little high. I mean, overall, just continues to get dubs. The guy is 6-2. The Dodgers are offering us catcher Diego Cartaya for Alex Verdugo. This is actually an excellent offer from the Dodgers. And it makes a lot of sense, right? They've got Dalton rushing. They would want to get rid of a catching prospect. Diego's true potential is 84. I hate the idea of making the Dodgers better. It does help them in left field quite a bit. Obviously, Verdugo is playing like maybe an all-star this season. Would we really want to make a trade with a team that we're fighting with in our own division? Like, we have a chance to win this division, how this team has been playing this season. I don't know that we do, but you guys let me know what you think about that one. I actually think it's a very good offer. I think if it were pretty much anyone but the Dodgers, I'd probably say yes. But then this also just adds to the plethora of catcher prospects we have. Although I do think that he would easily be the best catcher prospect. Let's continue simulating. We lose 1-6 against Houston, and then we beat them 7-2 in game number 2. Can we take the series? No, we lose 10-8. So finally a series loss, first one in a while. Johan Oviedo went 1 2/3, allowing 5 earned runs. And Cody Hoyer was bad and has seemingly been bad consistently. Here's Oviedo. He's up to an 83 overall. He's honestly a really good pitcher on paper. His numbers are just not great, are they? 4.4 ERA, 1.52 whip. Does have a 1.0 WAR and a better FIP than Satchel Paige. I could easily see Oviedo being a long-term part of the rotation, but I could also easily see trading him away. He carries quite a bit of value. I mean, he's only 28 with high potential and a high overall. Now we've got a series against the Braves. We've got a random injury, win game number 1. Game number 2 is a 2-7 loss, and it looks like finally Satchel Paige had a bad outing. 5 innings pitched. I mean, that's really not that bad though. I mean, 9 hits is quite a bit to give up. Looks like mostly it was Hunter Harvey that fell apart. Doyle down to a 227, by the way. Also looks like Amador is struggling, only batting at 219. We might be headed into a little bit of an offensive slump, which would make sense. I mean, we've been popping off. Here's a win for Dollander and crew though. Dollander, 6 solid innings, 5 walks to 2 strikeouts though. That's awful. An 0-5 loss against the Marlins. A 4-3 loss against the Marlins. Here comes the regression. You knew it was coming. We could not keep up this pace. Oh no, Mike Soroka during game number 3 against the Marlins has sprained his elbow ligament and will be out for 1 to 2 weeks. So we could keep him active. He might not be out that long, but I think this is probably a good opportunity to see Quinn Priester at the MLB level. Let's send him to the 15-day. We will stop simulating. We do actually win this game 7-2. Soroka only able to get 1 out before having to exit. Wow, we had to use like the whole bullpen. We're going to give Priester his chance, and I think that that's actually an excellent opportunity for that to happen in this episode. Looks like his start will be the opener in the Mets series. So we'll end up probably playing out that full game in this episode. Let's continue with the simulating though. Game 1 against the Cubs. We lose 2-1. The Pirates have offered us a trade. They want Sterling Thompson for Bailey Falter. Yeah, this is not a great trade for us, I'll be honest. Ryan Helsley is officially back off of the injured list. So with his return, we'll probably send Cody Hoyer back down. I mean, it's either him or Fong. Oh, and it actually looks like Fong has been much worse. The Hoyer gets to stay. Fong is sent back down to AAA. Sorry about your bad luck, pal. You just didn't play very well. Although you are improving still. That's back-to-back losses against the Cubs, by the way. Another probably pretty poor start from Chase Dollander. Only 4 innings pitched. He didn't allow a walk though. I guess that's something. But 6 earned runs is not exactly ideal. In game number 3 of the series, the Rockies win 12-11 in an absolute bloodbath. Michael King only going 3 innings, allowing 7 earned runs. Quijada gave up 3 in his appearance. Helsley gave up 1, but still got the save. They keep changing up my lineup for some reason. reason. Every time I look at one of these, Nolan Jones is the leadoff guy, and that is not where I want him, but it is what it is. When they make substitutions, they just completely change the lineup. So here is the officially done scouting report on Reed Sinecor. I am officially not crazy about him. Is he a guy we could snatch up if he somehow falls to around, you know, the 40s or 50s? I think so. I just don't expect that to happen, and I don't think he's overly special. Jose Perez, that second baseman, looks like he's okay. He looks like one of those players that's going to be high overall and low potential, so he'll pretty much be at his peak the instant we draft him, which I'm not personally that big of a fan of, but you know, there are worse players. And finally, one last game against the Cubs, and we lose 3-2. Got a good outing from Oviedo, but then got the loss from Caleb Ferguson, who gave up 2 earned runs in his inning. Just got nothing from the offense, and yeah, man, we are slumping a little bit, it looks like. Arise, Cohen, Amador, and Doyle are all cold, and I'm a little worried about Amador, who's only batting a .212 now. We've got to just hope he'll turn it around. I don't know why Cohen is listed as cold. I guess he is down to a .290 average. Nolan Jones is hot though, almost back up to a .290 average. Cohen, by the way, up to 17 home runs, almost definitely gonna break his career high of 25. Nolan Jones only just hit double digits. So let's get into what is not technically Quinn Priester's debut as a Rocky, but it is his debut as a Rocky on the channel. I somehow always find a way to end up playing against the Mets once a season. It's not on purpose. They just happen to always be around when I want to play the games. The Rockies now 20 games above 500, facing off against the near 500 Mets. And here is Quinn Priester. He did start 2 games earlier this season and clearly did not have great numbers. He had one start that was okay and one start that was absolutely horrific, at which point we gave the reins to Chase Dolander, and he's been good ever since. But now it's Quinn Priester's chance. He's probably going to get 2 starts while Mike Soroka is out, and I want to see some positives from him. Priester does have an interesting pitch mix. It looks like he is a sinker baller primarily, and his 4-seamer is only his 3rd pitch in the arsenal. He does have really good velocity though. Oh, he swung at that. See you later, Francisco Lindor. Priester strikes out the first man he faces. Popped up to the right side of the infield. Barry Cohen should be able to make this play easily, and he does. Speaking of the infield, Nolan Jones has been playing at 3rd, but is out today as he is very, very tired. So it is Sterling Thompson over there. Brandon Nimmo gets a hold of one. This is very deep to left, and it's off the wall. Jordan Beck gets this back in quickly, but it's a double for Nimmo. We got that in super, super quick, but Nimmo got a hold of that one. That was a curveball that I didn't think was all that bad, but apparently it missed enough for Nimmo to get a serious hold of it. Now we face Francisco Alvarez with 2 gone in the inning, and this should end it. Thompson could have tagged Nimmo at 3rd there, but decides to go to 1st. So a good inning of work for Quinn Priester. And now we'll take over offensively. Luis Arraez has been a little bit of a disappointing signing so far this season. He's still playing all right. Like a .293 is not too bad. But we did sign him to, for sure, be an over 300 type of batter. I wanted him to be a guy that gets on base all the time. And he does get on base a lot, just not as much this season as I would have hoped, as, well, he gets on base here. Takes one on the ribs. That'll be a bruise. Ed Rosario is the 2-hitter, also having a pretty solid season, batting a .294. He is tied with Nolan Jones with 10 home runs on the season. How sad is that for Nolan Jones? Rosario has not very good power. 41 against righties, 51 against lefties. And Nolan Jones, of course, has some of the best power on the team. Rosario's 39 RBIs is good enough for 3rd place on the team currently. Ooh, I did not think that was going to fall in the strike zone. Here's Barry Cohen, who has 60, which is tied for 3rd in the National League, and is currently 1st on the Rockies. He's batting 3rd today with Nolan Jones out. And wow, that is hit pretty hard, but foul. Popped way up. That was a really good pitch on the inside corner, and we were late on it. And oh wow, Arraez was considering going to 2nd. Did you see that? He took off for a split second on that. That means that Alex Verdugo gets to be the 4th batter today. His 50 RBIs is good for 10th in the National League and 2nd on the Rockies. He's been playing very, very well. It makes me think that trading him away maybe isn't the best course of action. He could be a serious part of a playoff push. Also, he is only 29, so it's not like re-signing him is a horrendous idea either. We just have so much depth in the outfield. It is probably time for Yanquiel Fernandez to take over as the permanent left fielder, but you gotta admit that Verdugo has been good in his time in the purple. This one is blooped to center. Is that going to be able to fall in? No, it is not. And that will officially end the first. So how will Quinn Priester be able to do today? I really like his throwing motion. It's just very fluid, and I like the timing of it quite a bit. That slider's in there. This one hit to left. That'll be a base knock for Michael Conforto. Grounder onto second, kind of a tough double play. Arise, spins around, gets it to Amador, but safe at first is Brett Beatty. So the fielder's choice gives us one gone in the inning, still set up for another double play. And of course the sinker baller, great for getting double plays, as we've got an 0-2 count against Ryan Clifford. That was left way up there in the zone, and Jordan Beck can't get to it, so Doyle's going to have to chase it down. This is likely going to score a run for the Mets, and it looks like it will throw not in time to Francisco Mejia. 1-0 New York. Jordan Beck not the fastest over there in left. Didn't get the best jump. The diving attempt was made, but could not reach it. The first run given up by Quinn Priester so far today, and he leaves another one hanging, that time an off-speed pitch. And there goes a second run for the New York Mets. Doyle will get this back in quickly. The runner will hold at second. Look at where that circle change was, and that was with the pitch release timing being good. So Priester just not locating very well suddenly. Had a very, very good first inning. And now here in the second, he is collapsing. That slider was nowhere close to where we wanted it. Left it right down the middle, and he gets punished. Mark Vientos goes deep for the 11th time this season. And Priester may be proving why he's not a long-term part of this rotation. Yeah, that slider is just way high in the zone. It's interesting because his numbers are pretty quality. Like, his control at 67 is pretty high, but the location this inning in particular has been so bad. Like, even that sinker right there was awful. It's 4-0 Mets, and still with only one out in the inning, they've got a base runner. I just threw two sliders, and I tried to get them on the outside lower corner, and both of them were right down the middle. Luckily, neither of them got a swing. But man, he just can't place this pitch. It's got good confidence at the moment. We'll try it again. That time, at least, it was off the plate. That one is way off the plate. Mejia might be able to throw out the runner. No, that's a wild pitch from Quinn Priester, who is struggling. Strike 3 called on Jorge Mateo. Strike 3 called on the 12-6 curve against Brandon Nimmo. Priester, a terrible inning here in the second, but he's getting his strikeouts at least. Here's Francisco Mejia, a guy we have not really seen at all this season. We had a period of like 3 weeks or so where he was not in the starting lineup at any point. That one is driven to center and it falls in. Base knock for Mejia, the first hit of the day for the Rockies. I'm thinking we probably trade Mejia this season and let Hunter Goodman and Samuel Basayo truly be the catchers of the future. Hunter Goodman in particular is playing better than both Basayo and Mejia. 3-1 count to Jordan Beck, who has kind of turned his season around. A 239 average is respectable, and he'll draw a walk here. So 2 base runners to start the inning for the Rockies. Now we've got Sterling Thompson, a guy who was very good last season, has just been a backup infielder so far this season, and just hasn't seen a ton of opportunities, but hasn't done much with those opportunities. Strike 3 called on the outside edge. Brings up Ariel Amador, who has not been great since getting called up. I feel like I gotta point this out really quick. The pitcher on the mound, his name is Sean Manaea, I believe is how you say it. Correct me if I'm wrong. He looks absolutely nothing like his picture. Look at this man in the picture. looks nothing like the face I just showed you on the mound. Manaea does have low stamina at 60, so the more pitches we can get him to throw per inning, the better, as we work the count full with Amador. And that's ball number 4, right on the outside edge. Second walk allowed this inning. Brings up Brenton Doyle. Bases loaded, 1 gone. I mean, this is a guy you like to have at the plate. He's unlikely to ground into a double play, but unfortunately, he's extremely likely to pop out in foul territory. Congratulations, Brenton Doyle. You played yourself. Well, Luis Arraez is a great RBI guy. Has 99 batting clutch. So surely we can get 1 run scored here. That's going to fall in, and it's going to score probably 2 runners, throw offline. Jordan Beck finds his way in as well, and it's 4-2. Luis Arraez chipping away at the New York Mets lead. Now it's Amed Rosario, another decent RBI guy. We've got all these guys at the top of the order with relatively high batting clutch. A little early on the swing there. Rosario hits one pretty solidly to center, but not solidly enough. The Rockies get 2 runners across, chip away at that 4-0 lead. Now down to 4-2. Let's see if Quinn Priester can settle in some this inning. Giving up 4 in a game is not too bad. Giving up 4 in an inning is obviously pretty bad, but hopefully he can put that to bed, as we're going to get a throwing error from Luis Arraez, and Barry Cohen can't save him. So a base runner via an error for the Mets. Michael Conforto back up the middle. Can't really go for the double play here. We'll just get the out at first with Priester. Grounded onto third. Should be an easy play for Sterling Thompson. And it holds up the runner at second. 2 gone here in the third. Should have been a 1-2-3 inning for Quinn Priester, but Luis Arraez with the error means that the inning will continue. This is popped to shallow right field. Easy play for Alex Verdugo. That'll end the third for the Rockies. Right down the middle is that fastball, and Cohen hits it pretty well, but was under it a little too much, just in front of the warning track. Not enough power. Verdugo, a little blooper to left, and that'll fall in for a single for the former Yankee. Grounder up the middle for Mejia. There is no way that got picked. Double play ends the inning. I thought that was going to be a base knock. The pitcher says otherwise. Strike 3 looking for Candelario. Priester hopefully settling in here in the 4th. And he strikes out Vientos on what I believe was 3 sliders in a row. This is driven to right, going to fall down in front of Verdugo, and that's a base hit for Francisco Lindor. So no 1-2-3 inning here in the 4th either. Grounded right back up the middle, and this inning has some potential to get kind of long if we're continuing like this, Quinn Priester. Can't be giving up these base hits. Now it's Brandon Nimmo trying to get that 3rd out of the inning. This is popped to deep left center field. Nobody's going to get there in time, and it's going to be Doyle to attempt to throw it back in. And another errant throw from Brenton Doyle. This is something that never happens with Brenton Doyle. I just got 2 bad throws back to back, and they were both to cutoff guys, I believe. That scores 2 more runs for the Mets. Quinn Priester struggling. Wow, and our bullpen is gassed. This might have to be one of those outings where we just make Priester go long despite the struggles. Gives up 6 through 4 innings. This one's lined to third, but kind of eats up the third baseman, and Sterling Thompson will get credited, I believe, with a base hit. Yeah, no error there. Amador hits one pretty well to right, but an easy play for the right fielder. That's 2 gone in the 4th. Brenton Doyle straight back up the middle. That'll be a base hit for the center fielder. 2 on, 2 out for Luis Arraez. The man who is responsible for the only 2 Rockies runs so far, in position to get us a couple more. A hit in the gap would be good enough for 2 runs with Brenton Doyle's speed. This one's going to get to the wall. We're going to send Doyle around, and he's going to score easily, as that's 2 more RBIs for Luis Arraez. 2 hits, 4 RBIs for Arraez. Well, at least somebody's playing well. Now Rosario will get his chance, but grounds it to third, and that'll end the 4th. So as long as we get people on base for Luis Arraez, he appears to be getting us RBIs today. Priester still has a good amount of energy, and even though it's been a disappointing outing, we're going to let him continue. Apparently that's not just a called strike. With how tired our bullpen is, we just have to have Priester go long in this game. I'll probably at minimum have him do a 6th, unless he gives up like a ton more runs. So here we are again, 2 outs. Can we get an easy 3rd one? Called strike, maybe a makeup call, though that is right there. Left a circle change hanging once again. This time, though, Clifford way too far underneath it, and it is an easy inning for Quinn Priester, finally. We head to the bottom of the 5th, and it's 6-4. Our leadoff man for this inning is Barry Cohen, who is in a little bit of a slump, 0 for 4 last game. The batting average is down to like a 290. That is crushed, but it's foul. Got another good one to hit. This is well struck, deep to left field, and out on the warning track. No, Barry Cohen, I thought you got that one. Rounder to third. How does that get past Sterling Thompson? A base hit for Candelario that probably shouldn't have been. And now we come back to Mark Vientos. Of course, hit a 2-run shot earlier. And he's going to do it again. Another hanging sinker from Quinn Priester goes deep to center from Mark Vientos. 2 more runs added, 12 home runs on the season for him. I don't know what to do with Quinn Priester, man. I think he has solidified that he probably needs to be traded away. Another hanging sinker from Priester, but Nimmo unable to get a hold of it. And that'll be out number 3. That should end Quinn Priester's day. Gets us through 6 innings, but gives up 8 earned runs. Ariel Amador with 2 gone in the bottom of the 6th is going to get a base hit. Good to see from him. Definitely want to see that average climb before Brendan Rodgers is able to come back from injury, which should be relatively soon, honestly. And now if Brenton Doyle can get a hit, we get back to Arraez, who has given us 2 RBIs in his last 2 at-bats. But no dice from Brenton Doyle. Fielder's choice gets Amador at second. Well, we'll bring in Jalen Beeks to hopefully give us a minimum of 2 innings, I would say, is what I'd be hoping for from him. Inherits an 8-4 game in the 7th. Not looking super winnable for the Rockies at the moment. Strike 3 swinging on a nasty circle change. And Mejia will throw out Alvarez. Grounder onto Sterling Thompson, who fumbles with this one as well. And the runner is safe at first. So the second time now that I feel like Sterling Thompson has let us down at third base today. Maybe he really is an outfielder. That one was actually ruled an error. Should have definitely been out number 3, and that should have been strike number 1. What are we talking about, ump? Strike 3 looking on the cutter. And that'll get us through the top part of the 7th. Need some runs from the Rockies. Am I crazy, or are the fielding errors a little too frequent with this team? Like, Sterling Thompson is not a bad fielder. He's a pretty decent fielder. Arraez has a pretty accurate arm, and he made that throwing error today. Seen a bunch of errors this season from Tovar, and they specifically happen when I'm playing. And I do have some sliders in place to have errors happen more often, but I feel like it's almost been a little bit too much. That's grounded onto short by Arraez. He can only get hits when there's runners in scoring position. Would really love to see something from Barry Cohen here. He's shown some power today, just hasn't gotten a hold of one. And I swing at the first pitch because it's another meatball, and he just pops it a mile high. He seems to do that a lot. Doing some quick simming here, and Lindor hits a solo shot against Jalen Beeks. So now it is 9-4. Can we get any offense going here in the bottom of the 8th, or is this game just dead? It's felt dead for a little while. I feel like ever since the Mets got to 6, the game has felt pretty dead. Game over. The Rockies able to add one more run before calling it quits, but still lose 9-5 in pretty embarrassing fashion. And it was a really bad start from Quinn Priester. Definitely not what you want to see. Priester goes 6 full innings, really just kind of because we forced him to. Gives up 8 earned runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, giving up 11 hits. He entered with a 10.2 ERA and exits with an 11, somehow unable to make a 10.2 ERA go down. As for the bats, it was Luis Ariz and Mejia kind of getting some hits. Cohen went 0 for 5, which is brutal. 0 for 3 from Jordan Beck, but he did have an RBI and a walk. And we got a hit from Amador and Doyle, which is always good. So what are your guys' thoughts on our man Quinn Priester? He's 25 years old, 74 overall. His potential is a true 86. He doesn't seem to simulate very well. Clearly that gameplay wasn't very good. He was missing location with the circle change constantly. The sinker was not great. In fact, I don't know if there was a single one of his pitches that was good. He's a guy that we traded for in season number 1. Is it time to trade him away this season? He does have a ton of team control left still, but he is also out of minor league options. So if we choose to keep him, we almost have to start him next season. We've already used one of those options for this season, so he can easily be sent back down. Let's go ahead and sim through the rest of this series against the Mets, and then we will end the episode there. 8-3 victory. Another victory in a Satchel Paige start. Gave up 3 earned runs. I mean, he just keeps giving us quality outings. Looks like Barry Cohen got the day off. Alex Verdugo with 3 more RBIs. Amador with 2. Hunter Goodman with 2. Goodman, by the way, batting a 276 now. To me, it seems like he should maybe be the everyday catcher. And game number 3 against the Mets is a 2-1 victory for Jose Quijada. Chase Dolander goes 6 innings, only allowing the 1 earned run though. Really good outing from him. And pretty much everyone struggled with the bat except for Ahmed Rosario. In fact, Rosario hit his 11th home run on the season, and Barry Cohen is slumping big time. He was up to a 310 and is now all the way down to a 283. Since June 18th, he is 1 for 19. I just went through and counted. I am certain he will snap out of it though. The Rockies now 53-32, definitely not having as good of a June as they had in April and May, and falling a little bit further back from the Dodgers, now 8 games back. But I am extremely happy with 21 games above 500. We only need to finish 2 games above 500 for me to keep my job, so 21 games will definitely do the trick. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate the continued support. If you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot, and I will see you in the next episode.